of this, we had fun. And I want to kind of go back all the way to the beginning to kind of see what we covered. So in this class, we learned about DOM. We learned what DOM is, and we said DOM is basically, it's like an API to the website, right? It's a way that we can get access to the website programmatically, that we can interact, we can select elements, we can do all kind of fun things. We've also learned that it doesn't have to be a JavaScript, right? You can get access to the DOM using Python and other scripting languages, but we use JavaScript in this course. We learned that DOM stands for Document Object Model. So it's kind of like an object-oriented way of accessing the DOM. Everything is kind of object. It has children. We discussed how to access it, right? And we discussed that you need to say document dot get element by ID. We learned that you can get it by ID, you can get it by tag name. We learned that you can get it by query, writing specific queries. We learned a lot of really fun ways to get to it. We learned also how to traverse the DOM. We learned how to go from a parent to a children. We know that there are two kind of children. One is called children, which is just the elements. One is called child nodes, which includes all kind of nodes, including comments and empty lines or line breaks. We discussed more in the traversing the DOM video. We also know how to get to the sibling, right? We have a previous sibling, we have next sibling. We know the difference between previous sibling and previous element sibling, right? Because your previous sibling can be a comment or line space, while previous element sibling is specifically an HTML element. We know how to go to parent, using the parent. We know how to manipulate the DOM. Here is where we created an element from scratch using the DOM, right? And we're able to add that element using append child to some kind of a parent. We'll learn that you can insert an element before another. We'll learn that we don't have insert after, but using a little bit of manipulating the DOM and transversing the DOM, you can actually do that. It's specific functionality. We'll learn about cloning, right? We'll learn about two ways of cloning. We'll learn about deep cloning of an element and shallow cloning. So if you say clone and you pass through, there's a deep cloning. If you don't pass anything, there's a shallow cloning. In the introduction to events, we learn what events are. We learn how important they are to the whole thing. You can't, without doing an events, everything else is pretty much useless. You can't get access to anything, or even if you get access to it, you can't call it, you can do nothing with it. That's what we learned. Here we learn how to attach events. We learn three ways of attaching it, right? We learn about inline attaching it. So you literally say on click inside the HTML tag, on click click, then you just reference the function. We learn how to do as a property, right? Get access to the pattern and then call pattern.onClick and then assign it. We learned about also event listeners, which is basically using the add event listener, which is kind of the best and greatest way to do it. We learned about event capture and bubbling. This was kind of the last thing we just talked about, which is right here, right? We learned that you go all the way back. When you click on something, you're not necessarily clicking on the button or whatever you want to click on. You're clicking through the window to the button, which is your target. And once you find that, you can the event goes all the way, bubbles up. We'll learn that there's two phases to it: capturing phase and bubbling phase. And we'll learn that you can specify which time you want to call, which means, do you want to call the S1 before the B, or do you want to call B and S1? We talked about a little bit about the history of, how Microsoft wanted to do bubbling up and Netspace wanted to do the other capture, and now how you can do both of them, whichever you like. And we talked about event delegation, which means using the event.target to specify specific things and using one function pretty much to kind of handle all kind of click events. Yeah, and this is the end of the video. I hope that was useful. Now you pretty much know the knowledge to create any kind of a website. Most modern websites are built with some kind of framework, but this is still very essential. I am working on a React course. Hopefully that will come soon, but you don't really need to wait for that or to do anything with that. Now you know that we have the whole HTML course, we have the whole CSS course, we have the whole JavaScript basics course, and when you add this DOM course, boom, you are pretty much a full front-end developer. You can create any website you want, you can create any functionality you want. So I would be like, yeah, fun. In the meantime, you should definitely go back and kind of revisit, watch certain videos. I am talking way too long, so I would like to say it has been an honor creating this course, and see you in the next video. And hopefully comment on any videos you like. I really like to kind of see your comments. Bye bye.